time. He finished, but it took 23 hours, 27 minutes, and 9 seconds. So for now, Kate Jones remains the undisputed champion of the Subway Challenge. Stephen Nesson, WNYC News.
WNYC is supported by City Harvest. With 1 in 4 New York City children facing hunger right now, City Harvest will rescue more than 75 million pounds of food this year and deliver it to help feed the city's children and families. Learn more at cityharvest.org.
It's WNYC in New York. Thank you for tuning in this morning. I'm Michael Hill, and with us is WNYC reporter Matt Katz, who covers public safety. We're taking this moment to raise the necessary funding for a necessary part of your life. That's WNYC. Pardon me, more than any other source of funding. Wow, I get choked up when I say this. It's listener support that sustains our journalism. So give as generously as you can right now at WNYC.org. Man, I'm getting choked up.
Let me help you out there, Michael. I mean, if you're listening to WNYC often enough that you can tell when Michael's a little bit under the weather or maybe when he needs a sip of water, then you know that WNYC is part of your life. You know that you need WNYC in your life, and we hope you can support us during this fund drive. Our number is 888-376-WNYC, 888-376-9692. You know, we just heard that great report from Stephen Nesson, who rode the subways all night with a guy trying to break a record by running through all the subway stations. Every community needs strong local journalism. Stephen Nesson's not just, watchdogging the MTA for how they're spending our transit dollars, but he's also telling quirky stories about our transit system and fascinating stories about our transit system. Local journalism really is the cornerstone of our democracy. It's an essential public service, and every community needs local news in order to thrive. And we're bringing you reporting that reveals important truths, holds the powerful to account, and tells you about local people doing fascinating things that in a way that you just really don't hear anywhere else. Last month, by the way, we launched NYC Now, our new daily news podcast. Search NYC Now wherever you get your podcasts, so you can get the latest headlines there. You can get local stories. It comes to you 3 times a day. Doing this kind of work, delivering this kind of news and information, sustaining our newsroom requires your support. We hope that you can support us today. And we have this great incentive. We have these amazing tickets to see Wait, Don't Tell Me at Carnegie Hall on December 14th. These are the best seats in the house. There's a limited number available, but if you give us a call, and if you contribute $500 or $40 a month, or become a sustaining member for $40 a month, you can get these tickets. Again, the number to call is 888-376-WNYC. That's 888-376-9692. Any final words? You got your voice back, Michael?
888-376-9692. It's back for that pledge. WNYC.org. Thank you for your support this morning. We appreciate it.
Internet companies hang on to a key legal shield.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by UiPath, providing organizations the UiPath AI-powered business automation platform. More at uipath.com/marketplace. UiPath, the foundation of innovation. And by Charles Schwab. The people at Schwab are passionate about helping investors. Learn more at schwab.com/whyschwab.
For Marketplace, I'm Nova Safo in for David Brancaccio. First, there could be a debt ceiling vote soon. Both the White House and congressional leaders say negotiators are making progress. Marketplace's Nancy Marshall-Genzer has the latest.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy told reporters he thinks negotiators will reach a deal to raise or suspend the debt limit in time for a House vote on it next week. McCarthy sounded more optimistic than he did last week. He says negotiations are in a much better place. Some congressional Democrats aren't so happy, though. They're pushing back against McCarthy's demands for stricter work requirements for some federal aid programs like SNAP. Congressman Ro Khanna of California said he would strongly consider voting against the bill if stronger work requirements were added. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders complained that Senate Democrats weren't getting updates on the talks and don't know what's happening. The White House says there's been steady progress. President Biden had a 20 to 30-minute chat with his negotiators and, quote, made clear the need to protect essential programs. I'm Nancy Marshall-Genzer for Marketplace.
In a pair of rulings yesterday, the Supreme Court decided in favor of Twitter in a case brought by the family of a victim of a terrorist attack. The family accused the social media company of aiding extremist groups because their content appeared on its platform. The High Court also sidestepped the need to directly address a legal shield known as Section 230, which protects social media companies from being held liable for what users publish. Dina Temple-Raston explains.
The justices focused their attention mostly on Twitter versus Tomna, which was looking at the question of whether Twitter's content encouraged a terrorist attack on a Turkish nightclub. And the long and short of it is that the court said it didn't think platforms were responsible. As they saw it, a neutral recommendation algorithm can't be seen as aiding and abetting terrorists. And the justices said their decision in Tomna informs this second case, Google versus Gonzalez. That's a case that asks whether YouTube and its parent Google should be liable for radicalizing young men who attacked Paris in 2015 because their recommendations algorithm fed them ISIS content. Naomi Gonzalez is an American student who was killed in those attacks. Tomna, the justices said, resolves that question. So they sent the Gonzalez case back to the Ninth Circuit, and they said that the judges there could look at one little part of the case that Tomna doesn't address, whether Google's revenue-sharing model provided revenue to ISIS and in that way somehow aided and abetted a terrorist group. So it looks like Section 230 lives another day, though Justice Jackson hinted that this wasn't over. She wrote that the decision was a narrow one, and they could decide differently if the facts of a future case were also different. For Marketplace, I'm Dina Temple-Raston.
Let's do the numbers. While the FTSE in London is up 0.4%, on Wall Street, Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ futures are pointing higher, but just marginally. The Dow future is up about 30 points. The 10-year Treasury yield is down slightly at 3.65%.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Total Wine and More, where you can find a new favorite Chardonnay, sparkling wine, or tequila. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly. Be 21. And by Odoo, a full suite of integrated business management software dedicated to helping businesses of all sizes with manufacturing, project, and inventory management. Odoo.com.
Well, recognize that music. Taylor Swift fans are definitely ready for it. Tonight is the first of 3 sold-out shows at a football stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. That's near Boston. It's the latest stop on Swift's Eras tour, which has brought throngs of fans to cities around the country, including a member of our own staff. The tour's economic impact is one few other artists can replicate, as Marketplace's Henry Epp reports.
Back in January, hairdressers at a dry bar hair salon in Houston started seeing a lot of bookings for one particular weekend in April.
At first, we were all like, what's going on that weekend?
Jamie James manages the salon.
We were all like trying to figure out what was happening.
Maybe it was prom or something? Nope. Taylor Swift was coming to town, and her diehard fans wanted to look good for the Eras tour.
The clients that are coming in are probably going to want different hairstyles from her different eras.
James and her colleagues studied up on those styles, and it paid off. She says they booked close to 100 more clients than usual that weekend. Economic effects like this are playing out everywhere Swift stops.
Parking and restaurants and just everything around those venues is going to be chocked to the gills with people.
David Herlihy is a professor in the music industry program at Northeastern University. He says Swift herself really stands to profit. He estimates she'll make $5 to $7 million a night just on tickets.
She's also selling hundreds of thousands of pieces of merchandise for every concert, and she's getting 85% of that revenue.
Some of that money will be coming from Carrie Simonelli of Lincoln, Rhode Island. As she wrote in an essay for the Boston Globe, she's the mom of 2 teenage girls who are huge Taylor Swift fans, especially her youngest daughter, Meredith.
She has like a Taylor Swift collage behind her bed, and she prints out song lyrics.
Simonelli found herself among the thousands of people waiting in endless virtual lines on Ticketmaster's website last November. That well-publicized fiasco led to lawsuits and a congressional hearing. She was finally able to get 2 tickets for this Sunday's show for nearly $900.
But I was like, this is it. This is your birthday present. This is part of your Christmas present. Don't ask for anything else.
It's tempting to think this tour is a sign that the live music industry is thriving post-pandemic, but it's more complicated than that, says Andrew Leff, a professor of music industry at USC.
There are really 2 music industries going on right now, one for the 1% and one for the 99%.
Leff says less popular artists than Swift face high touring costs and venues and promoters who are trying to make up for lost pandemic years.
They're going to go with the sure bets or the traditional artists that they know will bring in revenue rather than taking chances on younger artists.
Still, he's planning to take his daughter to see Taylor Swift when she comes to Los Angeles in August. They paid about $225 per ticket. I'm Henry Epp for Marketplace.
And finally, you can now download ChatGPT directly on iPhones. OpenAI, the company behind the chatbot, posted an app version on Apple's App Store. I downloaded it and asked what it can do for me, and one of the answers? Have general conversations. A brave new world. I'm Nova Safa with the Marketplace Morning Report.
WNYC supporters include Starkmont Financial, providing accounting professionals